In this video, we will see why the prices of petrol and diesel have increased, what is the reason behind it, and what will be its possible implications. India does not import the American WTI oil. It imports primarily from OPEC countries and Brent crude, which is extracted from the North Sea. The prices of Brent crude oil and OPEC crude oil is expensive compared to American WTI, but even their prices went down comparatively in the month of April. It was somewhere around $16 to $20 per barrel. So overall, what I'm trying to say is that in the month of April and May, the prices of oil around the world was comparatively lower because of the lockdown. All kinds of economic activities were shut due to lockdown, and the demand for oil had gone massively down. And now when everything seems to be opening up slowly, the price of oil has risen. Basically, the price has doubled in a period of around 2 months in the international market. Anyhow, let's just try to get into the reason. See, one thing that you have to understand is that the increase in fuel prices is actually because of the changes of the taxes that is applied on it. By change, I mean increase or decreasing of taxes. Both central as well as state government levies tax on per litre sale of petrol and diesel. The central government tax is called excise duty, and the state government does it in the name of value added tax and cess charges. If you notice, almost half of the fuel prices is made up of taxes. The revenue earned from taxing petrol and diesel is used by the central as well as the state government to balance its tight fiscal situation.
Hello everybody, I am Rakshit from grade 7 Ology Tech School. Today I am going to talk about firing fuels. Mother Earth has given us lot of gifts. One of those gifts are fuel. It has become an important part of our life and we use it on our day-to-day life. And life without fuel seems almost impossible. Hiking fuel means hiking all essential items. Let me explain with an example. Now, when a farmer grows crop or any other item, it goes by a van and is transported to other parts of the country. Now, because of the price of fuel increasing, the price of the grain doubles. This is bad for poor people because they can't afford so much money. India faces problem of poverty. Even today, there are people who work very hard just for their basic needs for living. The fuel price impacts a lot in a negative way. Now, I'm going to say some ideas that I think will make this situation way better. First, I think we must use the method of carpooling. Second, I think we must start using cycles. Third, I think we must start to walk in small distances. Then I think we must start using electric cars and electric bikes to not buy too much fuel. So, let's all get together and do our bit in solving this problem. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Nikita and I'm studying in class 7. Today I'm going to talk about fuel price rising in India. Prices of essential fuel like petrol and diesel are rising in the country. The rate have already touched 2 years high and could increase further as global crude rate rise. However, there is another key factor behind high fuel price in the country. Liter of a petrol now costs upwards more than 100 rupees all over the cities in India. Diesel price also costs nearby to the petrol cost. They could pose a major changes as Indian economy looks to recover from the damage inflicted by the coronavirus, impacted by economic slowdown. But why do Why are fuel prices rising in the country? There are two possible explanations: increase in global crude oil price and higher fuel taxes levied by the central and state governments. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Nandini from Grade 7 Ology Tech School. Today I am here to give a speech on rise in price of fuel. Main reason behind the petrol price hike. Oil Minister Dharmendra Pradhan explains there has been a jump in crude oil prices in the international market. One of the main reasons behind the rise in fuel prices in India is that we have to import 80% of the oil we consume, while international crude oil prices determine the cost of fuels in India. It is only one factor contribution to the rise in petrol and diesel. The main reason for this hike is central and state government taxes. This is when both diesel the petrol consumption dropped during these 8 months. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Hello everyone, this is Mrinali Velu from Grade 7 from Ology Tech School. Today I'm going to talk on the topic firing fuel. You know that fuel is a very important thing in our lives, and without fuel, long travel is impossible. To travel to different places that are far away, we use cars or other vehicles that use fuel. Can you imagine that nowadays fuel is getting harder to get than before? It is getting harder to get fuel because the fuel price is increasing day by day. This fuel price increase has happened because there are more demand of vehicles now. As per the recordings, 5 years ago, the petrol price was 62 rupees and now the petrol price is 1 or 2 rupees. Look how much change has occurred. Mainly during this pandemic time, public transport is not available, so we need to use a private transport which uses fuel. If the fuel price keeps on increasing, then we have to pay more money for the fuel than before. While on the other hand, fuel price hike also has an advantage. You know that petroleum is a natural resource and it at least takes 100 to 200 years to form. Because of this fuel price hike, people use less petrol so they could save their money and they could save the petrol. So I conclude that fuel price hike has an advantage and some disadvantages. Mainly during this pandemic, the fuel price hike is a major disadvantage, but on the environmental side, it's a good thing. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Rhea from Grade 7. Today I am going to talk about firing fuel hike in India. First, let's learn what is a fuel and its importance. Fuel is any material that can be made to react with other substances so it releases energy. Importance of fuel. We know fuel is needed for fire, which helps in furnishing products. Fuel is commonly used in vehicles for transportation. Natural gas is used for cooking and heating. Petroleum is mostly used as a source of energy which generates electricity. Diesel fuel is one of the most efficient fuel. Firing fuel hike in India. The government had increased petrol prices by rupees 10 and diesel prices by rupees 13. According to the data with Petrol Ministry in 2020 to 2021, states have collected more than rupees 1.35 lakh crore in April to December from VAT on petroleum products. The main reason for this hike is the central and the state government taxes. Another reason for the hike is many personal vehicles are used for transportation and the demand of oil has increased. The government announced that they have increased the price of fuels to use the money to make more schemes that help people. Petrol price hike and its effect of day-to-day life. The price of common transportation increases. Food price also increases because food had to be transported from one place to another. And all the families' budgets will exceed. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. I am Mohita of grade 8, Ology Tech School. I am going to deliver a speech about the drastic hike of petrol price. Petrol has become an indispensable part of our day-to-day life and we cannot imagine our life without it. But the petrol prices are skyrocketing and it is eventually going to affect each other and everything that we use in our daily life. Poor people have already started working hard to earn square a meal and this hike is definitely going to paralyze these already burdened people. Within 3 years, petrol price has increased 10 times and is still increasing. It is nothing but adding fuel to fire. It affects indirectly or directly the major sectors like textiles, transportation, autos, etc. for manufacturing and transportation. This affects the prices of daily essential commodities which are transported on a daily basis. Banking sector is also expected to suffer due to high inflation level. Increase in fuel will also increase in food price. This will have a more severe impact on poor people and because poor households spend more than half of their income on food and only a tenth on fuel. It's a chain reaction. Once started will affect all. Increase in petrol price will increase the transportation cost. Rich and corrupted people are least bothered of it. Business class like auto rickshaw drivers transfer the burden to common people, so they are also safe. Common people, if doing business, shall also pass the burden to customers and chain reaction. The community which suffers most is the common people. So what are we thinking for? The situation to get worse, or are we waiting for such heroic person who will bring us out of this situation? No. We, the people, are the one to do something and control the situation. Stop blaming government and think how to solve it. We Indians import oil from different countries. We don't have enough oil to meet our requirements, so we have to depend on import of oil. If there is increase in international price, then we have to bear the price hike in India also. So the thing we can do to reduce oil is consumption by using public transport to traveling routine places like our office and markets. Cutting off fuel supply or switching the engine off when traffic is halted for a long time. Development of biodiesel and government should allocate more funds for developing alternate sources of energy as well as develop high capacity grids and public systems. At last but not least, I want to say petrol is a natural resource and limited in nature. We have to use it judicially so that future generations can also use it. As someone rightly said, natural resources are not something we inherit from forefathers, but we borrow from our children. Thank you.
Good morning to one and all present here. My name is Shivanarayana. So, today I'm going to speak about firing fuel. We all have a question, why are fuel prices rising? India meets its domestic oil demand mainly through imports, while international crude prices have risen sharply in the last 6 months. A major reason for the high selling price of petrol is the heavy levy of local taxes. The union government levies excess duty on fuel and slates levy a value-added tax (VAT). Another reason is that the crude oil prices are surging. As with gasoline, the price of crude oil tanked last spring as COVID-19 wrecked economics and stopped people from traveling. To prop up oil prices, the OPEC cartel and its allies slashed oil production. Central and the state taxes make up for 60% of the retail selling price of petrol and over 54% of the diesel. The union government levies Rs 32.90 per litre of excess duty on petrol and Rs 31.80 on diesel. Therefore, rise of fuel affects people in many ways. Thank you.